AA stands for Alan Alexander. Alan Alexander Milne, who was born in London on the 18th of January 1882. He went to Cambridge, he was at Trinity College, Cambridge, and after that he started writing straight away for the literary magazines Granta and Punch. And it was after the First World War that he began a successful career as a novelist, a poet and a playwright in the 1920s. He married a woman with a gorgeous name. She had a wonderful name. She was called Daphne de Selincourt. How about that? Daphne de Selincourt. He married her in 1913. And famously, of course, the couple had one son called Christopher Robin. In 1924, as his little boy was growing up, he started writing for children. His first collection of children's poems was titled When We Were Very Young.
Yes.
Okay, When We Were Very Young. And that included poems such as They're Changing the Guard at Buckingham Palace, and one of my particular favourites, Halfway Down. And those were poems all inspired by things that his little boy, Christopher Robin, used to like to do. All of these poems. Milne returned to writing for adults, actually. He published novels, short story collections, and also a non-fiction anti-war book entitled Peace with Honour. And in 1939 he wrote his autobiography, It's Too Late Now. Don't know what that was all about. By the early 50s, his health began to decline and he died peacefully at his own home at Hartfield in East Sussex on the 30th of January 1956. But Winnie the Pooh, Christopher Robin and all the other characters have lived on as iconic figures in children's literature ever since. And the thing I like about AA Milne's writing for children, I confess I have not read a single word of anything he wrote for adults, but the thing I like about his writing for children is that it is childlike, but it's not childish. And actually, you know, if anybody ever says to you, are you too old for AA Milne? Well, if you're too old for AA Milne, you're too old for anything, because it's absolutely gorgeous stuff. Christopher Robin had weasels and sneezels. They bundled him into his bed. They wondered if weasels could turn into measles, if sneezels would turn into mumps. They examined his chest for a rash and the rest of his body for swellings and lumps. Physicians of famous physicians came hurrying round at a run. They all made a note of the state of his throat. They asked if he suffered from thirst. They asked if the sneezels came after the weasels or if the first sneezel came first. They said, if you teasel a sneezel or weasel, a measle may easily grow. But humour or pleasel the weasel or sneezel, the measle will certainly go. They expounded the reasons for sneezels and weasels, the manner of measles when new. They said, if he freezels in draughts and in breezels, then easels may even ensue. Robin got up in the morning. The sneezels had vanished away, and the look in his eye seemed to say to the sky, now, how to amuse them today? Nearly got it. Goodness me, that one takes some doing. Sneezels and weasels. Little boy kneels at the foot of the bed, droops on the little hand's little gold head. Hush, hush, whisper who dares. Christopher Robin is saying his prayers. God bless Mummy, I know that's right. Wasn't it fun in the bath tonight? The cold's so cold and the hot's so hot. Oh, God bless Daddy, I quite forgot. If I open my fingers a little bit more, I can see Nanny's dressing gown on the door. It's a beautiful blue, but it hasn't a hood. Oh, God bless Nanny and make her good. Mine has a hood, and I lie in bed and pull the hood right over my head. And I shut my eyes and I curl up small, and nobody knows that I'm there at all. Oh, thank you, God, for a lovely day. And what was the other thing I had to say? I said, bless Daddy, so what can it be? Oh, now I remember it. God bless me. Little boy kneels at the foot of the bed, droops on the little hands, little gold head. Hush, hush, whisper who dares. Christopher Robin is saying his prayers. And this next one is called Teddy Bear. And it's about how a teddy bear reconciles himself to being both short and stout. A bear, however hard he tries, grows tubby without exercise. Our teddy bear is short and fat, which is not to be wondered at. He gets what exercise he can by falling off the ottoman, but generally seems to lack the energy to clamber back. Now, tubbiness is just the thing which gets a fellow wondering, and Teddy worried lots about the fact that he was rather stout. He thought, if only I were thin, but how does anyone begin? He thought, it isn't really fair to grudge me exercise and air. For many weeks he pressed in vain his nose against the window pane, and envied those who walked about, reducing their unwanted stout. None of the people he could see is quite, he said, as fat as me. Then with a still more moving sigh, I mean, he said, as fat as I. Now Teddy, as was only right, slept in the ottoman at night, and with him crowded in as well more animals than I can tell. Not only these, but books and things, such as a kind relation brings, old tales of once upon a time, and history retold in rhyme. One night, it happened that he took a peep at an old picture book, wherein he came across by chance the picture of a king of France, a stoutish man, and down below these words, King Louis so-and-so, nicknamed the Handsome. There he sat, and think of it, the man was fat. Our bear rejoiced like anything to read about this famous king, nicknamed the Handsome, not a doubt. The man was definitely stout. Why then a bear for all his tub might yet be named the Handsome Cub. Might yet be named, or did he mean that years ago he might have been? For now he felt a slight misgiving. Was Louis so-and-so still living? Fashions in beauty have a way of altering from day to day. Is handsome Louis with us yet? Unfortunately, I forget. Next morning rose to window pane, the doubt occurred to him again. One question hammered in his head, is he alive or is he dead? Thus nose to pane he pondered, but the lattice window, loosely shut, swung open with one startled oh, our Teddy disappear below. There happened to be passing by a plump man with a twinkling eye, who seeing Teddy in the street, raised him politely on his feet, and murmured kindly in his ear soft words of comfort and of cheer. Well, well, allow me, not at all, tut tut, a very nasty fall. Our Teddy answered not a word, it's doubtful if he even heard. Our bear could only look and look. The stout man in the picture book, that handsome king, could this be he, this man of adiposity? Impossible, he thought, but still, no harm in asking. Yes, I will. Are you, he said, by any chance, His Majesty the King of France? The other answered, I am that. But a bear, however hard he tries, grows tubby without exercise. Our teddy bear is short and fat, which is not to be wondered at. But do you think it worries him to know that he is far from slim? No, just the other way about. He's proud of being short and stout. Wherever I am, there's always Pooh. There's always Pooh and me. Whatever I do, he wants to do. Where are you going today, says Pooh. Well, that's very odd, because I was too. Let's go together, says Pooh, says he. Let's go together, says Pooh. What's twice 11? I said to Pooh. Twice what? Said Pooh to me. I think it ought to be 22. Just what I think myself, said Pooh. It wasn't an easy sum to do, but that's what it is, said Pooh, said he. That's what it is, said Pooh. Let's look for dragons, I said to Pooh. Yes, let's, said Pooh to me. We crossed the river and found a few. Yes, those are dragons, all right, said Pooh. As soon as I saw their beaks, I knew. That's what they are, said Pooh, said he. That's what they are, said Pooh. Let's frighten the dragons, I said to Pooh. That's right, said Pooh to me. I'm not afraid, I said to Pooh, and I held his paw, and I shouted, shoo, silly old dragons, and off they flew. I wasn't afraid, said Pooh, said he. I'm never afraid with you. So wherever I am, there's always Pooh. There's always Pooh and me. What would I do, I said to Pooh, if it wasn't for you? And Pooh said, true. It isn't much fun for one, but two can stick together, says Pooh, says he. That's how it is, says Pooh. Speaking of Winnie the Pooh, I'm going to finish with 3 little nuggets of wisdom from Winnie the Pooh for you, okay? So you've got, like every good preacher, I'm taking you 3 things to take away with you, okay? Thing number 1, from Winnie the Pooh. When you are a bear of very little brain, and you think of things, you find sometimes that a thing which seemed very thingish inside you is quite different when it gets out into the open and has other people looking at it.
True, absolutely true.
This is one to bear in mind when we get to tea time. If the person you are talking to doesn't appear to be listening, be patient. It may simply be that he has a small piece of fluff in his ear. And the last one, and the one that sticks with me and always has, lovely little thing. Sometimes the smallest things take up the most room in your heart. Thank you, AA. Thank you.
What did you think of that today?
Very good.
Very good. What did you enjoy the most?
The poem?
The poems in general?
Oh,
Did you enjoy the poems?
yes,
Yeah, and were nice for you? Yeah? Do you want to...
all of them. But you didn't do a very famous one.
Right.
Can't think at the moment.
Oh. But overall, you've enjoyed that?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah? So what did you think of that today then?
I always enjoy everything that Richard tells us about. Oh, everything, absolutely everything. But it was lovely to hear the background to AA Milne. When he was a little boy, right up to adulthood. All of that was very, very, very interesting. I do have a book on AA Milne's poems and stories, but sadly I don't have it with me. But when I do go home and can retrieve it, I'm sure everybody will be interested in it. It's given to me when I was a little girl.
Yeah, well, there you go then. Let's hope for the best that you get that book. Did you enjoy the activity today, Pearl?
I did, because I'm very fond of AA Milne.
And why is that?
And when I was little, yes, I remember my mum doing the poetry, the AA Milne poetry to me, and I always remember it. And when my husband died last Christmas, Catherine, our daughter, decided what we were going to have for the funeral. And the one that she wanted particularly was an AA Milne poem. And so we asked Richard if he would say this poem at David's funeral, and he was very pleased to do so, and he said it at David's funeral, and he's also repeated it this afternoon.
So it's one that's quite close to your heart then?
Very close
Yes.
to my heart, and it's all about Pooh and me. And that was close to my heart because it was a bit like David
Aw.
and me.
Oh,
So
fabulous.
That was really.
Did you enjoy today's activity?
Very, very much.
And what was your favourite thing in the activity?
Christopher Robin.
Christopher Robin.
Oh,
And why's
yeah.
that? Why's that?
Well, I've known it from being very, very small and said it going to bed at night.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah?
that's my favourite.
Did you enjoy the activity?
Very much.
And what did you like about
I
it?
liked everyone. Richard can put it over. He knows how to put it over. And we enjoyed it.
What part did you like the most
I
out
liked
of
it
it?
all.
All of it?
All of it,
All of it.
yeah.
Was there anything that was stuck out?
No, just everyone were quality, you like.
So, Beryl, did you enjoy the activity?
Yes, I did. Very
No
much
choice but to say that
indeed.
now, have you?
And what did you enjoy most about it, Beryl?
I love AA Milne's work and Winnie the Pooh especially. So it was absolutely marvellous. I could follow it all. In fact, I was talking with Richard as he was saying it. I was saying it as well. I know it so well.